What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Michelle Renee from IamMichelleRenee.com. And today I have a very beautiful, very special guest with me, the beautiful Miss Britney Clark. How are you, Britney?
I'm fantastic. Thank you.
Wonderful. Britney is a fellow Mississippian, y'all. So you know how I am about my Mississippi people. Okay.
Yes.
Britney, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, where you are, and what your brand is.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. So, yes, I am a fellow Mississippian, born and raised in a small rural town by the name of Wesson, Mississippi. So, if you're on 55, you're probably headed to New Orleans. You're going to pass where I'm from. It's literally a blink, no stoplights, just a few stop signs, a few convenience stores, and that's about it. And so, who I am, I love to talk about who I am versus what I do. So, I would say that I'm first a loving, kind human being, a queen, a goddess that happens to own a water company. And from my being, Inez Queen Water LLC was created last August, actually. I launched to the public September 2020. I launched on the 7th of the month because seven just has so much meaning about completion and just have so many meanings from a spiritual aspect. And my birthday is also on the 7th. So 7 means a lot to me. And so a little bit about my company, it is focused on women, particularly Black women, and looking at the issues and areas that we face in terms of health. And that can be mental, spiritual, physically, they all work together. But the water is for Black women to really understand the key importance of hydration, how that affects your mental capacity to make clarified decisions, how to keep your energy up, and also build community. So within Inez Queen Water is what I call hashtag IQ Water Tribe, which is for the women who give life, live life, and protect life. And so my brand is conscious about the need for each other and how do we share space in a way that is inspiring for ourselves, our families, and our communities.
Oh my gosh, you
Oh,
just spoke to
and
my
I'm
soul. You're my
also
soul family.
yeah, and we my company is based out of Eastland County, Texas. And so that's where I currently reside.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Tell us about the journey to developing and even making the decision to say, you know what, I want to bottle this goodness and distribute it to the world for the purposes that you mentioned. How did you even get to that place of saying that this is something that you wanted to do?
Yeah, it was all divine, God's divine will and divine timing. So I hadn't been in Texas long at all. So I came from Atlanta early last year around March or April. And so then moving to Texas, I was like, okay, God, what am I supposed to do here? Because anytime you're in a place and you are following God and you're following whatever your path is, there is a purpose for you being there. And so it's key and intentional for me to understand what that is. And it's not always about doing, sometimes it's about being. And so in this particular season, it was about doing. And so I was watching a church service online. It's a minister. He's no longer with us earthside, but his name is Dr. Miles Monroe. And he's a very powerful speaker and teacher and leader. And I
Yes.
just love listening to him. And so one of the sermons that he mentioned was about the key areas that you should build a business, that you should start a business. And so he went down this list about gold, onyx, gasoline. I'm like, in food, like I like to cook, but not enough to make it a business, right? And so then he mentioned water, and it just resonated with me instantaneously. And so I grabbed my journal that Saturday, wrote out the name of the company, wrote out how I was going to make it happen in like 4 hours, created the logo, created what I wanted to stand for. And it just flew from there. And so the next week I had the LLC set up. The day before, I had went out and about with my partner, and I had met this man who had a private property but also had a spring on that property, had never been used, just only by his family. And so I bolstered up the courage to schedule a meeting with him, went and looked him in his face, and I was like, okay, I need to figure out how this partnership can work. He was in agreement, and from there I just picked the bottling, and I wanted to create something that was recyclable. Like I say I'm a water connoisseur in the sense that I can actually taste the difference in water, and I care about what's in it because water is the only liquid that goes immediately in the bloodstream, right? And so I had to be intentional about what this was and what it meant for me and the people that I was serving. And so that's how I got started. And I just built a partnership with the bottling company, which is also made in United States and Texas. And so when you just look at it, it's all in God's timing. And so right now we're strictly online, but with the challenges that we've had with the postal service, as every industry has been impacted in some way, I'm now looking at in-person partnerships so that I can get my product to people faster. But people have really been appreciative of the way that my shipments just come so quickly. And again, it's just divine because
Listen,
they
I just
literally get
told you
there
that
in two
before we
days.
started recording. I said, I placed an order and I know 2 days later it was sitting at my door. And I was like, I wasn't expecting a package. And I'm going, oh my goodness, what is this? And I open it and I'm like, I see the logo. I don't know if y'all can see it. And I'm
Yeah.
going, wow, okay. Blown away by how quickly it arrived and just everything. And I'm just like, okay. And like I shared with my husband and we tasted it. And it's just pure. It's pure in
Yeah.
every sense of the word, and it's crisp and it's filling, and it gives you this feelingness of alive, of being alive. And you talk
Yeah.
about divine will and divine purpose, and when you're in alignment to be able to walk in divine will and divine purpose, things look easy to man, right?
Yes.
And because you are allowing God to manifest everything as it should be done, and you're being obedient. When we
Yeah.
attempt to do those things become difficult. But the way you laid out, and you had it right down to the time in 4 hours, it took you 4 hours to manifest a thought, to create it, because you were guided by a whole another divine being. And that is so beautiful and amazing and inspirational. Tell me a little bit about
Thank
your
you.
IQ tribe.
Yeah. And so right now, the IQ Tribe is in development. And right now it's online because, as we know, we're going through transition. I don't use the word pandemic because my words create my experience. So I say transition, other publicly known as pandemic. And so we started online. And so right now, my hashtag Water Tribe is my Instagram community and my Facebook community. And so what that looks like, there's no membership right now, although there will be in the future. It's pretty much purchasing your water, right? And from there, we have a newsletter that's in development. Granted, the company just started maybe 5 months ago, so things are still in development. But I am doing interviews with members within the community of the IQ Water Tribe. Because one of the worst things to be a part of something and not know who you're surrounded with, right? And so this questionnaire is not about what you do, because a lot of times we are doing things for whatever reason, whether it's to provide for your family, whether it's the training that you got that you believe you have to stay somewhere that you're not happy. So these questions are one of the questions is, what legacy do you want to leave when you leave this earth? And so the women that have submitted these questions, like, these questions make me think, these questions make me cry, and that's the intention. So building that community, where I see this community when this transition may have lessened or may look different. I don't say back to normal, because things won't ever be back to normal. We will create new normals that are progressive for where we are and where we're going. And I can't be all things to all people, nor can I be everywhere. So my vision is to create hashtag IQ Water Tribe leaders, and create a training to where we can then employ community in-person events where we not just talk about the hydration piece, which is important, but we bring in mental health people, because a lot of us have not dealt with our mental. And
Mm,
so if no matter what you put in your body, if your mind is not aligned with what you feeding yourself, they are not in agreement and you're not in alignment. So I'm going to bring in mental, physical, and spiritual people to host these events so that women can be whole and holistic. Because if you're not whole, how can you raise whole children? If you're not whole, how can you operate in a divine relationship that God has blessed you with? If you're not whole, how can you operate in your purpose, because you don't feel like you even deserve that you deserve it, you know? So that's where we're headed.
So Brittany, you just came here to preach to the people. That's what you came to do, because you just reading me today and letting me know that what you're doing is so much bigger than water. And when I say that, that's a powerful statement in and of itself, because we know that it all began with water. Like, water has been here since the beginning of time. It's one of the earliest creations of our creator, right? So to know that you're taking water and using water as a bridge to so many other things is so amazing. Like, that is
Thank you.
so dope. That's my word. That's exactly what it is. Like, this is truly amazing. So I'm so excited to be able to even have a conversation with someone who has such a desire to pour back into people, in every sense of the word, from making sure that they understand the need and the importance of being hydrated, to also understanding the need and importance of being holistic and whole. So just understanding that is so, so, so amazing. I love that you started this in the midst of transition. I like that word. And being able to say that, you know what, I'm going to move forward with this. I'm going to make this happen. Where does your background stem from? Were you an entrepreneur before? Like, how were you able to just come in and make these moves? We know it's definitely God oriented, but what other background do you have?
Yeah, so for me, I've always been the curious person. I've always been the person to say why or why not. And so I grew up, like I said, with in Mississippi, two-parent home. My parents always created an environment of curiosity for us. So they took us on probably 2 to 3 vacations a year. So we got to be around different people that were doing different things. We got to do pageants, sports, whatever we came up that we decided that we thought we wanted to do, we were allowed to do it. And so within that, your knowledge is expanded. And so I did proceed through the traditional route, went to Mississippi State, graduated with a business and accounting degree, which gave me kind of the foundation of business. And then I have continued to have corporate jobs, which I still have one, but there was always something inside of me like that there's more to me, there's more to life, there's more to even my spirituality, because the word says that I have given them dominion over the earth. And so you shall lend and not borrow. You should have 7 to 8 incomes because you don't know what the day holds. And so if I'm saying that I'm a believer and if I'm saying that I'm walking with God, then I have to be in alignment with who he said I was. So if he says that I'm in dominion, that means that I need ownership of something. And so just as I've developed as a person, as I've developed as a believer, as I've developed as a business professional, I think those moments and those experiences, working as an accounting analyst, even working in positions and seeing what I didn't want to do, pointed me to direction of entrepreneurship.
That is so amazing. I'm so, like, you have blown me away. And we're fellow Mississippi State alum, so that's awesome too.
Yes.
I'm so excited just to hear your journey and to learn more about what you have going on. Tell us how you can be found. What's your IG, Facebook handles, and what's your website?
Thank you so much. So everything is consistent online. The website is www.inez, which is spelled INEZ, Queen, water.com. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Inez Queen Water. And we also are on YouTube, where you'll find just a few videos about who we are, about the product. And so that's where we can be found. All orders are now being processed on the website. And so everything is really clean, straight to the point. And so you place your order and you get it within, unless you're in California. California takes a little bit longer historically that I've experienced. But if you are kind of any other place, it's normally like 2 to 3 days.
Love it. I absolutely love it. And it's a very quick process. I went on, bam, bam, ordered my stuff, and it was very simple. I absolutely love that. Is there anything else you want to share with our viewers, with our readers?
Yeah, I would just say that, I don't know what your belief system is. I don't know if you even have one, but I can tell you that there is a higher power that's greater than me and you and anyone else. And until you tap into that, you will not experience the fullness of life to the capacity that is available to you. And so a lot of times we choose struggle, a lot of times we choose chaos, a lot of times we choose confusion, because as humans we're flawed and we can only do within our knowing. And so you're going to need, the Bible says that a multitude of counselors safety. And so the ultimate counselor is what I call God. And wherever you are is not where you have to be. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to live a mediocre, wait till Friday kind of life. There's so much more available to you. And so that's my message, that really get in tune with who you are, why you're here. And that may change, and it may be a series of things. You may be called to be a mother. You may be called to be a partner in a marriage. You may be called to have a business or not. You don't have to follow what the world has told you is acceptable. As long as you're in God's will, you're protected.
I absolutely love that. And my final question is, what one word that affirms who you are and why?
Resilience. Resilience. When I look back over my life, we all have challenges and we all have circumstances that could have made us become different people. But I say I'm resilient because everything that I've been through has been for God's glory. When I think about Joseph, and you think about all things that you go through, I could easily be a woman of selfishness. I could be a woman of pride. I could be a woman of bitterness and angerness. But through it all, I've utilized resilience to see God's glory in it and to still choose to be a light. It's not easy to walk a light worker's path. It's not easy to be a leader. It's not easy to stand for what's good. And so throughout all of that, what could have killed me, what could have broken me actually made me stronger. And I give God all the glory.
Amen. Y'all, check out this dope Black woman, Miss Britney Clark, and her amazing company, Inez Queen Water, at inezqueenwater.com, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And get yourself some pure water. Listen, you need it. You need the water, but most importantly, it sounds like you need the ministry, because she has got a word for the people. And I'm so grateful to have shared this time with you. Thank you so much, Britney.
Thank you.